Today, we're talking about one of the strangest and most fascinating money questions ever. Imagine a super-rich billionaire waking up one morning, sipping his coffee, looking up at the night sky, and saying, "You know what? I want to buy the moon." It sounds crazy, but curiosity like this actually teaches us a lot about economics, power, and how value really works. First, let's understand something important. The moon is not just a big rock floating in space. It is a massive celestial body that orbits Earth, controls our ocean tides, stabilizes the planet's rotation, and plays a huge role in how life on Earth behaves. The moon is about 3,174 kilometers in diameter and sits roughly 384,400 kilometers away from Earth. In simple words, it's enormous, incredibly far away, and extremely important to our planet. But let's pretend for a moment that someone actually could buy it. The first question would be, who owns the moon right now? Surprisingly, the answer is nobody. According to international space law, especially the Outer Space Treaty of 1967, no country can claim ownership of the moon or any other celestial body. That means even the richest person on Earth cannot legally buy it because there is no seller. Imagine going to a store to buy something that nobody owns. The cashier would just stare at you. But let's keep playing with the idea, because that's where things get interesting. In economics, value usually comes from scarcity, usefulness, and demand. The moon is extremely rare. There is only one natural moon orbiting Earth. That already makes it incredibly valuable. On top of that, scientists believe the moon contains massive resources. For example, there is a material called helium-3 buried in the lunar soil. Helium-3 could potentially be used as a clean fuel for nuclear fusion, which many experts believe could power the future of humanity. Some estimates suggest that helium-3 on the moon could be worth trillions of dollars because it could generate enormous amounts of energy without pollution. Imagine a fuel source that could power cities, industries, and entire countries with almost zero waste. Suddenly, the moon doesn't just look like a rock anymore. It starts to look like a giant energy treasure chest. Then, there are other resources. The moon contains aluminum, titanium, rare earth metals, and huge amounts of oxygen trapped in its soil. These materials are extremely valuable for building space stations, spacecraft, and future colonies in space. If humanity expands into space, the moon would probably become the first mining and construction hub outside Earth. So how much could all of this be worth? If you combine the potential value of helium-3, rare minerals, scientific research, tourism possibilities, and strategic space infrastructure, some speculative estimates say the moon could theoretically be worth quadrillions of dollars. A quadrillion is 1,000 trillion. To give you perspective, the entire global economy today produces around $100 trillion per year. In other words, the moon's theoretical resource value could be thousands of times larger than the yearly economy of the entire planet. Now imagine a billionaire trying to buy it. Even the richest individuals in the world, people like tech founders and business tycoons, have fortunes measured in hundreds of billions. That sounds huge, but compared to the theoretical value of the moon, it is basically pocket change. Let's think about another factor: access. Owning something is meaningless if you cannot reach it. Right now, sending 1 kilogram of material to the moon can cost tens of thousands of dollars depending on the mission. Building a mining operation there would require rockets, space stations, robotic systems, energy systems, and possibly thousands of workers or autonomous machines. Just building the infrastructure to operate on the moon could cost trillions of dollars. That means even if a billionaire somehow bought the moon, they would still need an insane amount of money just to start using it. There is also the political problem. The moon is visible to every country on Earth. Imagine if one person claimed ownership of something that the entire human race can see every night in the sky. Governments would never accept that. Nations would argue that the moon belongs to humanity, not to one individual. In fact, many experts believe that in the future, the moon will be managed by international agreements, similar to how Antarctica is handled today. Countries may build research bases, mining stations, and even tourist facilities there, but ownership would likely remain shared. And yes, tourism could become a huge business. Imagine luxury lunar hotels, where ultra-rich travelers pay millions of dollars to spend a week watching Earth rise over the horizon. The view from the moon is one of the most beautiful sights in the universe. Our planet appears as a glowing blue marble, floating in the darkness of space. For billionaires who already own yachts, islands, and private jets, a moon vacation could become the ultimate status symbol. That alone could create a multi-billion-dollar industry in the future. But here is the deeper lesson behind this crazy question. Money by itself does not create ownership. True power comes from systems, laws, technology, and cooperation between nations. Even the richest person alive cannot simply buy something as massive and important as the moon. This idea teaches us a powerful principle about wealth. The biggest opportunities in the future will not come from owning land or buildings alone. They will come from controlling technology, innovation, energy systems, and global networks. The people who will shape the next century will be those who solve huge problems. Clean energy, space infrastructure, artificial intelligence, robotics, and planetary resources will define the next generation of trillion-dollar industries. So when you look at the moon tonight, don't just see a glowing circle in the sky. Think of it as a symbol of future opportunity, a reminder that humanity is only at the beginning of its economic journey beyond Earth. Now let's finally answer the big curiosity question with a single clear number. If we combine the estimated value of helium-3 reserves, rare minerals, strategic space infrastructure potential, tourism opportunities, and the cost required to build a functioning lunar economy, a commonly cited speculative valuation would place the moon at roughly $15,800,000, about $15.8 quadrillion. To put that into perspective, that number is more than 100 times larger than the entire global economy today. Even if every billionaire on Earth combined their wealth, they still would not come close to buying it. Which means the moon isn't something one man could ever own. It's something that represents the future wealth of humanity itself.